Ahoy and welcome to this Narrowboat adventure. Today I'm going to talk to you about boating lingo. I'm going to start very simple and I'm going to get more probably unheard of. Now I should say you will probably have heard of some of these things. So like the canal is called the cut and the little path down the side of the canal is called the towpath. The boat when it's moving is cruising and when it's stopped it's moored. When you are moving it, you are piloting the boat. So usually the pilot stands on the stern of the boat, which is the very back. So the stern comes in three kinds. You can either have a traditional stern, where the pilot would open the hatch over the engine room, and they stand in the hatch with the doors shut behind them. This comes from when boats were used to move goods, and it's basically because people would have to move rain or shine, and it was just to keep the legs and the body warm of the person who was driving. And then we have the cruiser stern, which is completely the opposite of a traditional stern. It's much bigger and there's lots of room for people to come and party with you as you drive your boat along. Much more popular with holiday makers or people who, I don't know, want a bit more outside space. There's also a semi-traditional stern, which is usually somewhere in between. So what it usually has is a much larger hatch that will pull out and reveal some seating. So that's the stern. There's also at the stern a big metal piece of material. It's bent and it's used to steer the boat. That would be called the tiller. The tiller usually has an extender on it that you can remove, and that is held in place with a tiller pin, which is just a little piece of metal. The front of the boat is called the bow, and as you come inside, usually you'll come into the saloon, which is the living area. The kitchen is referred to as the galley, and that's all the inside stuff. On the outside of the boat you have ropes, which are referred to as lines. You have fenders, which are much like car fenders. They're used to protect the outside of the boat. Usually you'll have a rope fender at the front and back, which is just a big piece of knotted rope. And then people usually have fenders on the side as well. Those can be small pieces of plastic, or they can be tyres. People tend to use tyres less now because legally if a bird nests in your tyre then you can't move your boat, and that can be a pain if you run out of water. And the last few things are going to be about locks. So we have stoppages, which is where a lock is shut for the winter usually to be fixed, and then we also have a windlass, which is a piece of metal used to open and shut locks. And I think that's all the boating lingo I could possibly know, apart from when I was researching into boating I saw a lot of talk of gangoozlers. People who gangoozlers are people who are interested in boating but don't have a boat. I've never heard anyone referred to as a gangoozler in real life, so I don't know how much of a piece of lingo that actually is. People are referred to as liveaboards if they live on boats, but we've never heard people refer to non-boaters as gangoozlers at all, so I think that might just be a bit of a myth. Well, that's all the boating lingo I possibly know. If you can think of any more, please do leave it in the comments below, and if you'd like to join us again on this Narrowboat adventure, please do. Thank you. Bye! Oh, to join us again, just press subscribe. Bye!